Hey, what is up, Flavor Family? It's Bobby. In today's Kitchen Basics, we are gonna rock my best ever guacamole recipe. I don't think I've shared it with you before, and I don't even think there's a recipe on the blog, but there has to be now because number one, the Super Bowl is coming up, then March Madness, Cinco de Mayo, guacamole all day, every day, right? And on a recent trip to Mexico City, or about 2 years ago, Dessi and I went on a day trip to Teotihuacan, the pyramids outside of Mexico City, and stopped at this really cool restaurant called La Gruta, which means the cave. And we had the best guacamole I've ever had. Instead of totopos or chips, they served us fried pork skins known as chicharrones. Art loves when I say that. And I was in love, but I said, you know what, the flavor's a little different. What's the secret to this? And he said, the secret is we don't add lime juice directly to the guacamole. We pickle the red onions, and that's all the acid we add. Mind blown. So I'm gonna show you exactly how we do that with a traditional, straight up, super easy guacamole recipe. Then we're gonna soup it up a little bit and do one with toasted and spiced pepitas, some roasted poblanos, and some sweet mangoes. Before we hook you up with this guacamole recipe, hook me up. Every single week we are rocking out some of the best recipes on YouTube. If you click that little bell icon that's right below the video, you get a push notification and can be part of the push notification squad as soon as my videos go live every weekend. Okay, before we get to the ripe avocados de Mexico, we're gonna talk about the red onion because it needs some time to pickle. So I'm gonna show you how I cut the red onion here. So check it out. The way I like to make it so it's an even dice is I go first parallel to the wood cutting board. That makes the planks. Then I rotate it around, keep my fingers back, and I make sticks like that. And the beauty of doing this is that you're basically gonna get a fine dice without having to work too hard or chase the red onions around the board. Now you just come down and see, it ends up in a nice fine dice for you. So by pickling the red onions, you do two things. Number one, you get rid of that raw flavor from the red onion and make it more mellow, and you add just enough acid to the party. The red onion here, this is half of one red onion. I really like that because it's not as sharp as a yellow one. And then we'll take some limes, roll them like this. I think honestly, the hardest part about this recipe is buying ripe avocados. How often do y'all go to the store and the avocados are hard as a rock? If you buy them 3 or 4 days ahead of time, you're good to go. If you wait till the day of, you probably have to go to like one of the Latino stores because they always have them in stock that are ripe. Otherwise, you can stick them in a paper bag with some bananas, and the gases from the banana help them ripen. So that's it. This is the secret to really good guacamole. Now we can move on and make the rest. I'm going to take my ripe avocado here, although I think it's ripe, right? It feels soft. It looks good. It doesn't have any blemishes, but you know sometimes you think it's a perfect avocado and you cut into it and it's blemished and brown or something's wrong with it. Art, please tell me it's nice. Ooh, that's pretty nice. It's a little dark, but it's okay. And then sometimes it looks good too, but it's hard and watery. It's like, dude, I just spent like $1.50 like that. That's probably not the prettiest avocado, but we got more. Let's try another one. Like that, it looked and felt good, but what are you gonna do? Let's try this guy. Acceptable, acceptable. Carefully, just pop the end of the knife in, twist, and then don't grab it here because you're gonna cut your finger. Just pop it like that. Scoop them out into the bowl here, and then we can add the rest of the fixins and mash away. And then grab a bunch of cilantro, kind of hold it on an angle, and give it a haircut. That way you don't get too many of the stems. Same thing goes with parsley. And then I like to take all the leaves here, roll it up like a nice cigar. And that way when you chop it, your knife blade goes through as many leaves as possible. Now, of course, there is 15% of you guys who are genetically dispositioned to think cilantro tastes like soap. So if you're one of those people, skip this one for sure, or use parsley. It's an easy sub. And then when it comes to tomatoes, I don't like to go too crazy with my basic avocado guacamole, but a little tomato is nice, but check it out, Art. What I like to do is just scoop out the seeds because I find these are very watery and it waterlogs your guacamole. And then just roughly chop them. You'll get that nice tomato flavor, but not all that water. Now, here's my question for you guys. When did it become acceptable for restaurants to start charging $10 to $15 for guacamole? And I'm talking about one avocado guacamole. There's a place here in Chicago, a little bit of salt and pepper, called Santa Monica Summer House. And there's a place I went to recently in Scottsdale called Barrio something. Barrio Queen, yes. Tableside guacamole service, lovely, very fun. $15 for one avocado guacamole? No, this hombre don't play that game. That is not cool, okay? This is a no cooking dish. You can make it at home. I refuse to do that when I can make it myself with 2 avocados for probably $3, okay? One thing I love to do is put a little shot, maybe teaspoon of really good extra virgin olive oil into here. Why do I do it? Well, yeah, it's fat on fat, but the extra virgin is robust and grassy or fruity. This is from the Olive Oil Club. Yes, I'm part of a club that ships really good extra virgin olive oil to my door every 3 months. They gave me a promo code where you can get that bottle for $1, no strings attached. It is the best extra virgin I've ever had. I'll put that link down below in the description box. Now is the time we pick up our handy potato masher here and just mash away. I'm on team chunky. I don't like a really, really creamy guacamole. If you feel like you want it creamy and dreamy, you do whatever you feel like. Then we'll add some of the cilantro. We'll scoop in our chopped tomatoes. We come back to the red onions. Okay, it's only been about 5 minutes, but it still did its thing. So what I'm gonna do is take some onions, spill out some of the acid or some of the pickling liquid, and just add it now. And this is the trick. I'm gonna mix it up, and I'm gonna check it for seasoning. Come on, tell me you wouldn't rather make that than pay 15 bones for half that amount at your local restaurant. Barrio Queen. You gotta be a queen or a king to eat there. I can't afford 15 bone guacamole. But now let's transfer it into my bowl that Dessi and I got in Tulum, Mexico. Beautiful. And then we have a couple options for serving. We can use classic totopos. I got a bag of Frontera chips here. We're big fans of Rick Bayless, so we love his food. Or if you want to be low carb, because the guacamole is 100% keto friendly, this is something really cool. All right, do you know what that is? No. This is a radish, but it's not your everyday radish, because once you get out your mandolin here, or if you have Iron Chef hands like Masamaro Morimoto-san, you can do this with a knife, but it's a watermelon radish because look how pretty that is. You can use that to dip. So this will be my little garnish here. And there it is, you guys. That's basic, straight up, delicious traditional guacamole with the pickled red onions. I want to quickly do a second method that's souped up with 3 ingredients that I really like. All right, for the souped up guacamole, we have the usual suspects in this bowl here. 2 avocados, shot of extra virgin olive oil, salt, and cilantro. Mashed it up to a chunky monkey texture. Now check this out. In this pan here, I toasted some pepitas, which are Mexican pumpkin seeds, with olive oil, cumin, and salt. That's gonna add some really good texture. I'm gonna finely chop that. If there's one thing we love on this channel, it's contrast of texture. Avocados are creamy, pepitas are crunchy. So let's chop those and then add some to the wok.
If you're not on Team Crunch, you ain't in our bunch.
Well said, Art. I love that line. Okay, we got the crunch covered. Now to add a little bit of sweetness, I have a mango. I'm gonna show you my mango hack here. Dessi and I went to Ecuador for the mango harvest season in, I wanna say it was August. And we went to all these mango farms. I had an awesome time. And what you do is you cut the cheek off of the mango here, go around the seed, just let your knife guide it. This is a Tommy Atkins mango. And then take a glass here that has a thinner edge, push it to the skin, and just run it all the way down. It's Tommy Atkins. See, all the fruit comes out of the skin, and you have the sweet mango here. I'm just gonna roughly chop that. Now, I think it'd be cool to kind of give this mango like a little bit of a seasoned chili vibe. Isn't it very common in Mexico to add some like chili powder and some salt to your mangoes? So, what is that spice? There's a spice mix that comes in a bottle in the stores, chili and salt and something. So let's add a little bit of chili powder on that and a little pinch of salt. And then for some heat, this is a poblano pepper. Not too spicy, but I wanna roast it or char it. So I put that directly on the burner like this with the fire over it. Took about 10 minutes to get to this stage right here. Charred and blistered all over. I immediately put it in this bowl here, and the steam, check this out, Art, helps the skin separate from the flesh. And take the seeds out and just roughly chop it, and we'll add that to the guacamole. And then give that a mix up. So now we have sweet, we have heat, and we have crunch in there. And it's ready to serve. But let's just say you're not ready to serve your guacamole. The game is not for another 2 hours, your friends aren't over yet, so what do? You don't leave it open like this. It's gonna oxidize. Art. It's gonna oxidize, it's gonna get brown and nasty. What you do is you reach in the drawer here, you pull out some plastic wrap. And you don't just cover the container with plastic wrap, you push it down directly onto the surface. So if I were just to do this, there's still oxygen in there, it's gonna turn brown. What you have to do is literally push it down so there's no air between the plastic wrap and the guac. So it has to look like that, all smashed. You can keep this in the fridge for 6 hours. You could even do it overnight and it won't even turn brown. But that being said, we're serving it right now. Let's plate this up. And that's it, you guys. We got 2 delicious guacamoles. One is basic, one is souped up. Get creative, do whatever you want. Try to avoid ingredients that are watery. If you wanted to use pineapple, I would blister the pineapple in a hot cast iron pan with a little bit of oil to make it kind of charred and smoky, and then chop it up. Let's garnish with a few of the spiced mangoes, some of the pepitas, and then a little bit of poblano peppers. And there it is. 2 guacamole recipes, super easy. 2 done for about $5 or $6 in a restaurant that would cost you $30. Que Dios mío, amigo, I can't afford that. Muy caro. This is the way to do it. The recipe is down below in the description box, along with other game day recipes like my buffalo cauliflower. The other week we made my game day crispy baked chicken wings with buffalo sauce and avocado crema. I think, Art, you should come over to this side and try one of these totopos. All right, you guys, 2 more videos are streaming below me right now. But, Art, how good is that?
Oh, good.
Salud. We will see you soon. Until then, hashtag keep on cooking, mad love, peace.